Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Ngung, but you can call me Lisa. I'm from IGC Thái Bình Dương. If you can dream it, you can do it. These were my words of encouragement when I was a little girl with a bunny tails and bangs sitting at my tiny little desk in kindergarten, cutting out my shapes and learning to share. My teacher used to tell me these words, which shaped my sense of enthusiasm for believing that dreams are full of fun and it is within my reach. I am now a 12 years old girl who masters her geometry work, explains igneous rocks to her science teacher, and challenges herself by participating in some major speech contest. My father gave me the same words of encouragement. If you can dream it, you can do it. Now that I have started this journey, I've come to visualize what my 16-year-old self would look like. She might be earning a full scholarship to a prestigious international school. I imagine I can see small tears on my dad's cheek because his beloved child is the valedictorian of her top-notch school and is about to give the commencement speech. Their little girl now tells all the graduating females in the crowd, if you can dream it, you can do it. Flash forward 15 years, I've been a software engineer for 10 years and I applied for every management positions that becomes available. However, I'm devastated because I'm never even called in for an interview. I'm now reconsider the words, if you can dream it, you can do it. My smiling face slowly changes into a frown. I have proven my value, my attitude, and my talent, but my parent didn't tell the daughter, and my teacher didn't tell the white-eyed student that she must deal with male-dominated industry. Why was I not told that a daughter's dream would have systemic obstruction that are entirely insurmountable? And now, how can an adult handle this rejection, this insult, and this loss of opportunity? I'm now retired, and I'm struggled to tell my own daughter the unvarnished truth. Many times, a woman, no matter how qualified, cannot achieve her dream due to gender bias in the workplace. My story illustrates the equality has not yet been reached in today's workplace. In fact, the shocking truth is that only about 1 in 4 women are chosen to become Fortune 500 CEOs. Is it a woman's destiny? Are the women's dreamer of the world only 25% as qualified as their male counterpart? Today, I will talk about 3 things that I, as a woman, have to face in the world of career. First, why gender equality still exists. Second, what are the differences between now and the past? And finally, evidence shows that women can and should have the high-level occupational traditionally given to men much of the time. To start off, in Vietnam, just like in the developing world in general, women continue to form a large majority of working poor, earn less income, and are more often affected by unemployment and precarious working conditions than men. Women in Vietnam are principally found in lower-paid occupational sectors of vulnerable employment. Most women work as unpaid family worker, home worker, street vendors, or in the entertainment industry. But why women tend to have less prestigious jobs? Well, one reason for this phenomenon is that there are a lot of people in Vietnam still have a thought that women are undervalued and career choices like supervisor or CEO are reserved primarily for men. People with this old-fashioned thinking never apply to women the words, if you can dream it, you can do it. The truth is, this concept began from our ancient culture. As you know, my country had to survive 1,000 years of foreign domination, and in this culture, women in the past could not do what they wanted to do, but needed to listen to the parent or the husband. This culture still exists today in some part of our society, so most women still cannot get the job they want. Just like Valentina Porcucci from ILO Vietnam Label Economist had said, gender biases in the mindset of managers can be barriers for women to advancing into leadership position. Moving on to my second key point, based on my limited knowledge about Vietnamese history, my recent research, and what my parents have told me, people never actually respected females or cared about their feelings because they thought women had less value. Of course, I had to remind you as a young woman myself, this is simply not true. In fact, I'm one of the lucky ones whose parents tell them that nowadays the leaders of Vietnam can become whatever the heart desires. Luckily, since the era of Confucian-driven philosophy, the percentage of employed women had risen steadily annually. Since the 21st century, many women can choose their own careers without hurdles. However, in countries like Jordan or India, gender bias in the workplace still exists. Finally, are you still harbor that women can't be as good as men? Let me reveal you just a tiny fraction of examples of women proving their abilities compared to men. First, Nguyễn Thị Thu Nhi was Vietnam's first World Boxing Organization champion after winning a WBO belt in the Republic of Korea on October 23, 2021. Still not convinced? Billionaire Nguyễn Thị Phương Thảo was born in 1970 in Hanoi. Nguyễn Thị Phương Thảo is the CEO and president of Vietjet Air. Phương Thảo was both my country's and Southeast Asia's first female billionaire. In 2019, the Vietjet CEO was listed into the Forbes list of 100 most influential women in the world. We can truly see that she lived by today's model. If you can dream it, you can do it. Finally, I want to remind you that ancient culture are already in the past. We need to look forward to the future where gender equality will drift into oblivion. According to the Forbes website, Dr. Margie Warrell proclaims, a woman can be assertive and empathetic. She can be feminine and fierce, and she can embody grace and grit. She went on to say, as more women embrace the power, it will change the nature of power. As more women find the courage to rise, it will elevate all humanity. Let's give Lisa's daughter a fighting chance to accomplish her dream, to finally create opportunity, establish new system, and inspire generation to come. Let's the words, if you can dream it, you can do it, ring true for our daughters and other daughters, mothers, and sisters of the world. I just have only 2 requests on the audience today. First, stop assuming that men are more qualified for the management position just because that's the way it has always been. Second, continue to teach your son and daughter that they can become whatever they want. If you can dream it, you can do it. Is it a self-evident truth, or is it just a fairy tale we tell our children? Here's 2 more women rising. Will you join me? Thank you.